cloud. I'm going to do custom live streaming. There we go. Well, they say we're live. I know I'm alive, and everyone else is alive that's with us today. I've got Annalyn Scott and Raymond Scott with us today. They're going to be talking quite a bit about about sounding the alarm to save lives. We're going to hear a lot about that, and I've known Annalyn for some time and had the privilege of meeting Raymond, and they're very special people. They're part of our family because that's what we do here. Everyone that we're associated with, we have a family type of connection because we're all about helping one another and blessing one another. And that's what makes the world turn. At least that's what makes our world turn. But first, I'd like to share with you a couple of things. We're very excited. We're going to be on E360 TV. It's going to be starting on the 9th of November. We're going to have 5 live shows a week. So don't worry, I'll eat my Wheaties, or I'll need to anyway. But the E360 TV has a great outreach. This enables the people who's going to be our guests there to be able to be seen live with just one click. They'll be on Roku. And I got my cheat sheet here because my memory's kind of, not very long. But Roku in the US has over 43 million subscribers. At the same time, we're going to be on Amazon Fire TV. And the US, they have 71.2 million viewers or subscribers. Also, Apple TV here in the US has 33 million. Android TV Hulu hooked up with Android TV, and they've got 35.5 million subscribers. I'm one of those. Periscope will be live on their network, their channel, I should say. They have 10 million, but the one that blew my mind was Twitch, TWITCH. I wasn't familiar with them at all. I've seen their emblem, but I didn't know anything about them until I Googled them. And when I did, I says, holy enchiladas, are you kidding me? These people have thousands, they're interfaced with thousands of other channels around the world. They have 140 million unique visitors per month to their channel, Twitch. If you multiply that times 12, that's 1.6 billion. So I'm thinking, oh my goodness. In addition to that, we're going to be live on Facebook. We'll be live on YouTube. We'll be live on our websites. And we'll also be live on Mother's TV, right? Mom will always tune in. But most importantly, one of the things that really brings value to a speaker is being able to deliver a very clear message. Because all of us have listened to speakers or people that's doing a webinar, and all they do is talk and talk and talk. The problem with that is that they want to share with you everything they know. And all you want to know is, hey, what can you do for me? Is my time valuable enough for me to be here, sit here, and listen to you? One of the best tools I've ever found, ladies and gentlemen, I mean this sincerely. Yes, I'm part of the 6-minute webinar, but the 6-minute webinar, oh my goodness. You tell people right up front, it's only going to be 6 minutes. Then with the clarity of message, you're going to identify the problem that you solve. You give them the steps, how you're going to solve it, what's in it for them, in other words. Then there's a call to action. And within 6 minutes, with all that great information, what's in it for me, for the viewer or for the listener, they will stay to the close because you haven't used and abused their time. Let me show you how to find out about the 6-minute webinar, because we're going to have a very special, I'm trying to share my screen here. There we go. We got a very special boot camp coming up. And I got to move this little thing here out of the way. Oops. This is the home of the 6-minute webinar boot camp. It's just SIXMINUTE webinar.com/boot camp. This boot camp is a $495 value. They had it down there. The tech guy didn't get the message. He listed it being like value of $299, but this is actually I'm scrolling here kind of fast. This is actually a $499 deal because this is a done with you live workshop. You're going to be following along step by step by step by step, 3 hours. And you can get it for $99. That's a tremendous value. And the beauty about the 6-minute webinar is that if you got 3 or 4 products, there's a little video here you can play. You can see our time there is October the 24th on Saturday. We're going to begin at 9 a.m. That's Pacific time. That's noon time for people on the East Coast. But the beauty of it is, let's say you got 3 distinct products or services. You pick one of them. And all you do is talk about that one product to your ideal client. Let's say stop smoking. Or if you have a program that says lose weight. For the smokers, they're not interested in losing weight. They want to hear what you can do for them about helping them quit smoking all within 6 minutes or less. That is the value of the 6-minute webinar. And I mentioned great friends of ours, Annalyn Scott and Raymond Scott. They're with us today. And now let me stop sharing my screen. Let me cut on the gallery view there and stop my cancel the spotlight. There we go. Hey, folks, how you doing out there? Your mics are muted. Okay, you unmuted that. Good. How are you doing this morning?
Fantastic. Very good. Thank you.
Good to see you, Raymond. I had the privilege of just meeting you one time, but I was really impressed with you, my man, because Annalyn Scott is just a first-class lady. Very impressed with her heart. We've had you on the radio show, haven't we, Annalyn?
Yes.
Yeah. That was a great show. She got a lot of downloads, and people think the reason why we surpassed over 5 million downloads is because of me being the host. Now, just between you and me, it's the guest. I didn't have anything to do with it. No, but really it's true because people tune in for information and to be, provided a little bit of entertainment. We do that because I have a warped sense of humor. But my point being, and that's exactly what we're going to do today, because on this show, like all the messages of inspiration and hope shows, we share information that is pertinent to you. And Annalyn, you've also been on this show before, haven't you?
I have, yes.
Yeah. And see, she's such a bear for punishment. She comes back and puts up with me some more.
Raymond Jack to be part of it.
So I'll take some of that punishment then.
There you go, brother. Well, you folks are going to be talking to us today about sounding an alarm to save lives. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, good. Let me do a couple things here. Let me give you the center spotlight and reduce myself up to the top. And let me shut off my video and mute my mic, and the stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Jim. Imagine the public's reaction and response if greater than 50% of cancer patients were diagnosed at stage 4 or 5, when there were warning signs or indications of cancer in their medical records at earlier stages. There would be a major uproar. Essentially, this is what's happening with kidney disease. But we are going to connect some dots to show you how the power is in all of our hands to change the status quo and to save kidneys and lives. Nearly 37 million American adults have kidney disease, yet 90% don't even know it. Like cancer, there are 5 stages of kidney disease. Stage 5 is kidney failure, where dialysis or a transplant is required for survival. But if caught at earlier stages, it can be stabilized or even reversed. Yet 1 in 2 people with very low kidney function at either stage 4 or stage 5 who are not yet on dialysis don't know that they have kidney disease.
I was a part of that 90% that didn't know when my kidneys failed 22 years ago at the age of 29. It was a year after I'd gotten out of the Army, and Annalyn and I had only been dating 3 months when I developed a bad cough. After a week of her suggesting to go to the doctor, I finally did, thinking I had bronchitis and they would give me some antibiotics and send me on my way. I'll never forget the look on the nurse's face when she took my blood pressure 3 times before running to get the doctor, who informed me that my blood pressure was 270 over 190, and they had called the ambulance. By the time I reached the hospital, my blood pressure was 300 over 200, and the ER doctor was asking, "Didn't you have a headache? You could have had a stroke. Didn't you have chest pain? You could have had a heart attack." "Nope, just that cough. Then he proceeded to tell me that my kidneys had failed and they needed to start me on dialysis right away. Whatever he said next was a blur because all I could think was, what the hell is dialysis and how long do I have to live? A week or so later, when Annalyn picked me up to take me home from the hospital, I told her I was going to move from Phoenix back to Charleston, South Carolina, because I knew I had a long road ahead of me, and she was too young, and it wouldn't be fair to her to have to take this on. Thankfully, she quickly replied that I didn't need to go anywhere, that I was a great guy, which I am, and we should see where our relationship goes. I was hoping she would stay with me, but I had to give her an out. We were married less than a year later and have continued to step forward arm in arm with every challenge that has come our way.
Would it surprise you to know that kidney disease kills more people each year than breast cancer or prostate cancer? You would not be alone. If you were to ask a 5-year-old what the pink ribbon stands for, most would be quick to say breast cancer. Yet most adults would be hard-pressed to provide a fact about kidney disease if asked. The FDA collected data comparing 5-year survival rates of various cancers versus the most common dialysis treatments and kidney transplants, and found that the majority of cancers had higher 5-year survival rates than patients on dialysis. Thankfully, Raymond has far surpassed the odds stacked against him, and we are on a mission to change the trajectory of kidney disease and save millions of lives, maybe even yours, through awareness, prevention, and regenerative medicine.
There is such a silence around kidney disease that needs to be addressed. A silence of symptoms, a silence of awareness, a silence that creates misunderstanding, a silence of loneliness, loss of hope, and depression, a silence of and complacency to accept the status quo. High blood pressure, kidney disease, and diabetes often go hand in hand and wreak havoc on the heart and body. I can attest to this. With the exception of my brother donating one of his kidneys to me in 2001 that lasted 5 years, I've been on dialysis since my kidneys failed. 6 months after transplant, the anti-rejection medication caused me to become diabetic. My blood sugar jumped to 1,000 and I became insulin dependent. In addition to high blood pressure taking my kidneys, 10 years later, it also caused the dissection of my aorta that resulted in my having emergency open heart surgery to replace an aortic arch with a graft and put a mechanical heart valve. I realized a long time ago that if I didn't take care of this disease, it was going to take charge of me. I had to make a commitment to eat healthier, exercise 4 to 5 days a week, and have a positive outlook on the future at every twist and turn in my journey. I've been encouraged by advancements in regenerative medicine, some that are still on the horizon, and other breakthroughs that are already making a difference, including one that has helped me regulate my blood pressure and reverse my type 2 diabetes. I'm happy to report that after being on insulin 14 years, I'm no longer on any insulin or diabetic medication whatsoever. For the past 8 years, I've benefited from Annalyn being able to administer my hemodialysis treatments from home 5 days a week. Thanks to the benefits of more frequent dialysis from home, I have a new lease on life. So much so that back on February 20th, 2016, I was on the stage dancing to Pharrell's song as a celebrity at the National Kidney Foundation of Arizona's Dancing with the Stars competition. 18 years to the exact day that my kidneys failed, demonstrating that dialysis doesn't have to be a death sentence. But at the end of the day, I'm even more passionate about helping people keep their kidneys, and avoid a journey like mine.
If ever there was a time to ring an alarm for kidney disease awareness and prevention, it is now. We recognize that there are several causes, but diabetes and high blood pressure are by far the two leading causes of kidney disease and kidney failure. So let's start there and begin connecting some dots. According to the CDC, approximately 1 in 3 adults with diabetes and 1 in 5 adults with high blood pressure may have kidney disease. Both kidney disease and high blood pressure are known as the silent killers. Nearly half of the adults in the United States have high blood pressure, and only 1 out of 4 of them have it under control. Now let's turn our attention to diabetes, which is the #1 cause of kidney disease. The 2019 International Diabetes Federation Atlas report estimated that of the approximate 463 million adults worldwide living with diabetes, half are undiagnosed. They're predicting that number to rise to 578 million by 2030 and jump again to 700 million by 2045, a 51% increase globally between 2019 and 2045. As the rates of diabetes and high blood pressure skyrocket, kidney disease naturally follows suit. Individually and collectively, we have a choice to just accept predictions as inevitable or challenge the status quo and reverse course. Now that you've heard the sound of the alarm, I encourage you to become your own biggest health advocate to protect your kidneys and overall health. Here are a few simple recommendations that anyone can start with. Be informed and prepared to ask questions at your doctor appointments. Know your numbers. Get a baseline on your blood pressure and blood sugars and A1C. If you have high blood pressure, pre-diabetes, diabetes, or a family history of kidney disease, ask your doctor to get a baseline on your kidneys. They can do this with a simple blood test and urine test. Have your doctor explain the numbers, but also just do some research yourself so that you are fully informed. Drink plenty of water. Eat more of a plant-based diet and reduce or eliminate processed foods. Exercise and maintain a healthy weight, and avoid or limit NSAID medications.
This journey has not been an easy one, but I recognize the many blessings I've received along the way. My faith and my family have been definitive source of inspiration, hope, and support in my life. I am inspired by the discussions with my 15-year-old son and 12-year-old daughter about how they envision their weddings and the dance routine my daughter and I will perform, which inspires me to take care of myself physically and psychologically. We often talk about how I will spoil my future grandchildren, and I envision a long and fulfilled life with my wife and family. It is my purpose and destiny to be a catalyst for change and help others. I'd be willing to go back and do it all over again.
Yes, so, to learn more, if this has definitely inspired you, would like to learn more information, you can definitely go to our website. We just completed a documentary that will be coming out soon, and you'll be able to learn more, and also can pick up our book by going to 1in9kidneychallenge.com. And you can follow us on Facebook at that same address, 1in9 Kidney Challenge. Jim, thank you again so much for having us on. It's really been a pleasure to share this and ring an alarm for people today.
Yes, thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, my goodness gracious, I've heard your story before, but I tell you right now, goodness, it always touches my heart, and it moves me in a lot of ways because of the fact that I lost a brother-in-law to kidney disease. One of my brothers I served with in Vietnam, Paul Tuttle, he suffered from kidney disease. And of course, I stayed in touch with Paul very frequently. And I said, how you doing? I'm doing all right. Because if you knew Paul, he wouldn't tell you if he was about to draw his last breath. And a little over 2 years ago, we were on vacation heading out to Arizona. And we had stopped there in Luckenbach, Texas. And I got a text from Paul's phone. And I thought, hey, that's neat. And I opened up the text, and it was his wife, Candy. And she says, Jim, I'm so sorry to tell you we lost Paul this morning. I'm going,
Oh,
oh,
wow.
man. So, you know, folks, and I know a lot of people have had, you know, loved ones and friends that suffer from kidney disease. And your website is 1in9. That's the number 1 and the letters IN, then the number 9.com. Is that correct?
Yes, 1 in 9 kidney challenge.
Oh, kidney challenge. Okay, I didn't make a note. I was thinking about
But you're right, with
family.
the 1 IN and the number 9, absolutely, very important.
Yeah, that's what I was focused on. But Claudia is with us today, and I'm going to give a chance for Claudia to come on board. I want to cut her. I'm going to unmute you, Claudia, and I'm going to bring your ask you to start your video because the three of us will talk, or the 4 of us will talk here. Excuse me. Claudia's been on before. Hey, Claudia, how are you today?
Hi, how are you?
Doing
Nice to see you
fine.
again.
My pleasure. Glad to have you on the show again. And I'd like for you to share some thoughts that you got hearing from Anna Lynn and Raymond Scott, because their story it's an amazing story, isn't it?
Yes, and I find one of the things that you said at the end is that you have to focus now on really taking care of yourself in order to be the best individual and the best father, the best husband that you can be. And I am with you because I am someone who came back from burnout. As an autism mom, I came back from burnout to be a stronger self. And it's the same thing. I find that, you know, we have the same, the same vision, is that in order for us to be the best versions of ourselves, the best moms, the best partners, and also to inspire others, we need to show up powerfully, and we need to take care of ourselves, our physical and our mental self. And you're completely, you're an inspiration to me. Just by listening to your story, you're an inspiration. So
yeah, and I share that inspiration because my wife is such a firecracker. I mean, she takes the reins, and she even inspires me. Like, man, I'm the one with the disease. You're the one with the fire.
I see that. Yes, you're lucky. Yeah, she's amazing.
I've got to tell a story. The first time I heard Anna Lynn speak, we were in Phoenix, and we were at a little get together. And I heard her speak, and immediately I ran around the room. Well, maybe it didn't ran, but I walked around the room pretty quickly. And my partner, Don McGrath, the co-owner of the Speakers Pathway Coalition, I says, Don, what do you think about us getting Anna Lynn on the radio show? He says, I thought you'd already made a note to do that. Because your message is so powerful. Both of you, not only Anna Lynn and Robert, but Claudia, I'm trying to pronounce your last name. Say that for me.
Tabuada.
Tabuada. I like the way you say it better than I do. but Raymond, your story and Anna Lynn's story, my goodness gracious, what you do, there's a lot of people that will connect with you. And the same is true with Claudia, and you hear her story because she's been on the show before. But most importantly, remember this, ladies and gentlemen, you have a very special story. There is someone there that can connect with you that cannot connect with anybody else. So don't hold that, share that, reach out and help someone in their hour of need, because really that's why we're here. We're here not for things, because in life, the sad part about being a human is that we value the things that we can buy. Think about that. We don't put much value on our brains or our health or something like that until you lose it or you have a health problem. But most of the time you take those things for granted. How about love? You think about the love we have for family and friends. I mean, we don't really appreciate that to the level that we should, but if you have that compassion and love, Bill Heinrich, one of our executive training directors, he talks a lot about love, because once you get out of your head and get into your heart and you share your message, you share your love, your compassion and concern with others, guess what happens? you live in the abundance of life. And Bill actually has a free ebook he gives away called Clarity Has No Story. You can go to my free book, 3 simple words, myfreebook.me. As M is in Mike, E is in Echo. And Claudia, we're so glad you're joining us today. And you're up there in Canada, aren't you?
Yes, Montreal.
Montreal. Oh my goodness gracious, yeah. And you're an active bicyclist and all that, right?
Yes, I'm actually a runner and cyclist. But yes, in Canada, when October hits, you cannot cycle. It's too cold.
Mm.
So yeah. So I'm running now. I'm running.
You're running? Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I normally, if I have to go like that, I normally hitchhike, but realistically, when I was in the service, we had to run the 2 miles. And ironically, I never ran one step before I took the 2-mile test.
Oh,
Because I tried that and I tried that, and running was just not me. I mean, I could do it, but I didn't like it. But what I did, I got me a bicycle, and that really builds up the muscles and the legs and all that. And when I get out there to run, I used to tease them. I said, "Don't let this old man pass you up now." Tease the young guys. And I'd start in the back on purpose,
Oh,
because
yeah.
that first mile I'd pace myself. And on the second mile, you get that second wind. You feel that when you get that second, and then your body feels, you can feel your body pick up and it wants to go. And I used to run by them. See you later. And I'll be honest with you, I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I mean, that's terrible. But these young guys be talking all this stuff, and here this old boy passes them up. You can't help but love that stuff. That's part of being a guy, right, Raymond?
Yes, it is.
And I'm going to share a little joke about us guys. We can laugh at ourselves. At least we should. You ladies already know this, but there's a 50-50-90 rule that applies to every single man on planet Earth. Now, if a guy's got a 50-50 shot of making the right decision and doing it right the first time, if he does not listen to the wise advice of the lady in his life, there's a 90% chance he's going to bolo it right out of the gate.
He's laughing too hard at that.
Hey, you're looking at Exhibit A there on that one. But most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, Claudia is here with us today. We want to give her some time to share her wonderful message. And I got to do this techie stuff behind the screen. I'm going to cut off the mics there for Anna Lynn, and also cut off the camera there. And let's see here. Did I do that right? There we go. Now I got to do another thing here. I got to give you the spotlight, Claudia.
All right.
And your topic today is going to be the 4 pillars to a resilient mindset. Is that correct?
That's it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me shut off my video and mute my mic, and the stage is yours.
All right, let's go. So, have you ever wondered why some people seem to not only survive but thrive during challenging times, while others seem to drown in despair? I believe it all comes down to mindset. 17 years ago, my son was diagnosed with autism, and I decided to abandon my law career to stay with him full-time and become his full-time caregiver. In the autism whirlwind, I not only lost my physical, mental, and emotional health, but I lost my identity. One day, I read a research paper from the University of Wisconsin-Madison that stated that the stress levels of autism moms are similar to those of soldiers with combat. Shocking, but not surprising. Reading this, along with crossing the finish line of my first 5K race, put me on a path of transformation where I decided to take charge. And I decided to search for the best tools that could give me the energy, the mental strength, and the vitality to not only care for my severely autistic son with grace, but also go after my dreams with confidence. I have now developed a program that is called the Unstoppable You Self-Care Blueprint, which is a collection of all the self-care, mindset optimization, and stress reduction strategies that I have accumulated in my journey, my 11-year journey. And one of the core elements of this program is mindset. More specifically, the need for working on our mindset on a daily basis in order to nurture a bulletproof, strong, and resilient mindset. It is key for me. It has been key to work on my mindset in order to not only survive, but thrive. And I have come from a mom who was burned out, overwhelmed, and who had lost her identity, to an unstoppable mom now who is not only an author, a speaker, a women's empowerment and mental performance coach, and a multiple marathon finisher. So I hope that, my mission right now is to share with you some of the mindset strategies that I have learned through the years. And that my hope is that I will convince you that you need to work on your mindset consistently in order to not only preserve a strong and positive mindset at all times, but also develop the grit and the resilience to take challenges and setbacks and deal with them successfully. So let's dive into mindset. We will first look at the definition of mindset, and then we will look at the 4 pillars to developing a strong and resilient mindset, or what I call the GPSF framework to a badass mindset in my new book. So let's first define mindset. What is mindset? Mindset is a set of thoughts and beliefs that define the way that you handle situations. Now, according to Carol Dweck, a professor of psychology at Stanford University and the author of the Mindset Bible, Mindset, the New Psychology of Success, mindset determines the way we deal with tough situations and setbacks. It also determines our willingness to improve ourselves and how we think of our personality and what we're passionate about. Now, let's look now at the mindset strategies that have served me well. First of all, let's talk about mindset strategy number 1, which is the S on the GPSP framework. It is to develop self-love and self-acceptance. Now, what is self-love? Self-love means taking care of your own needs and not sacrificing your well-being to please others. Self-care it's a belief in the realization that you deserve self-kindness, self-compassion. You need to take care of your own needs, and you also deserve to reach your full potential. Now, some people may think that self-love is selfish. Some may think that is narcissistic, but I beg to differ. Loving yourself means that you accept that you deserve the self-kindness and understanding. And it's also a space of non-judgment where you accept that you are enough despite your imperfections and your weaknesses. So let's look at some of the ways to develop the self-love. Number 1 is to encourage yourself always, for every small step, for every goal, whatever small it is. Pat yourself on the back, encourage yourself, because you deserve to feel accomplished. Number 2 is to accept yourself for who you are, flaws and all. So accept yourself, work on your strengths rather than your weaknesses. Number 3 is don't be afraid to set healthy boundaries. And this is key, especially in these times of COVID-19. We are dealing with so many things, and we are, as moms, but especially moms who have to deal not only with the kids at home 24/7, but also homeschooling, trying to work from home, cooking, cleaning, etc. We need to set healthy boundaries because it's a sign of self-love and self-respect. So setting boundaries is key. Number 4 is stop comparing yourself to others. This never-ending comparison only affects your self-confidence and self-esteem. So mindset strategy number 1 is to develop self-love and self-acceptance. Now, let's go to mindset strategy number 2. which is to control your focus. Tony Robbins has said that where focus goes, energy flows. And in his seminars, he talks about 3 ways to control your focus. Number 1 is to focus on what you have. This means that you need to focus on gratitude. Be grateful for what you have. I have a little routine that I have developed where in the morning, I either write on my journal or I tell myself 3 things that I'm grateful for. And it can be anything. It can be that your kids are healthy, that you have the health to go for a walk, that you have food and shelter. Anything that will put you on a gratitude state will put you on a positive state. So practice gratitude always. Number 2 is to focus on what matters. So focus on, what are the needle movers in your life? What are the things that are key in your life? So another one of my routines is that in the evening, before I go to bed, I write 3, my 3 objectives for the following day. What are my 3 main goals for the following day? And I do one for my business or work. The other one is for family, and the other one is for self-care. So these are my 3 goals. And if my 3 goals were achieved the next day, then I consider my day a success. So focus on what matters. Number 3 is to focus on what you can control. This means you need to be in the present moment. So focus on the present moment. And if you do that, you're not thinking about, dwelling on the past or about future anxieties. You are in the present moment. So those are the 3 strategies to control your focus. Now let's go to the P of the GPSP, which is to feed your mind with positivity. Feeding your mind with positivity is essential, especially in these times of collective fear and anxiety of COVID-19. Because, you have the news coming to you, making you stressed out and anxious. You have people who are also anxious. So it is a key for you to control what's going into your mind. So control, keep a positive, feed it with positivity at all times. So some of the strategies are stop binging on the news. Listen to what you have to listen, but don't binge on CNN. Try to focus on what's positive. So the other thing is to stop negative thoughts immediately. So as soon as you see, the negative talk, transform it into positive talk. By saying daily affirmations, for example. In order to craft affirmations, author Jack Canfield offers the following formula. He says, you can say, I am so happy and grateful that I am now, and fill in the blank. So I'm going to give you some examples of a daily affirmations that will put you in a positive state. I am so happy and grateful that I am now 40 pounds lighter and that I can wear those sexy pair of jeans. Now, I'm so happy and grateful that I launched my new business and that I'm now making 20K per month. Or I am so happy and grateful that I have earned my ABA and I will be able to apply to this job, my dream job. So anytime that you have a negative thought, turn it into a positive thought so that you're staying in a positive state. The other strategy to feed your mind with positivity is to read books or listen to audiobooks about personal development, or listen to courses that about topics that interest you. Personal development books and audiobooks are an excellent way to get inspired and motivated to reach your full potential. And, I personally love listening to audiobooks because as an autism mom with a severely autistic son who needs constant supervision and who's also running her business at the same time, I don't have much time to sit and read a book. So I listen to audiobooks, and I love, I listen to audiobooks when I'm doing my house chores. So I love, feeding my mind when I'm doing mundane things. So, I love being able to gain knowledge about new things or challenge myself, or, listening to something inspiring that will motivate me to reach my full potential. So the other strategy that I use is to listen to podcasts, podcasts with inspiring guests who have to deal with challenges and setbacks, and yet they have come out of the other side stronger. This is extremely empowering. If you want to have a positive mindset and be inspired to reach your full potential yourself. So those are my strategies to feed my mind with positivity. Then I have mindset strategy number 4, which is the G from the GPSP. And this is key, especially again in these times of COVID-19, to cultivate a growth mindset. Now, what is a growth mindset? Let's first look at what is a fixed mindset. A fixed mindset is when people believe that their abilities and their intelligence are set in stone. Now, what is a growth mindset? A growth mindset is when people believe that their intelligence and their capabilities can be developed through perseverance and hard work. Now, again, if we look at Carol Dweck, she says she believes that successful people, most successful people, have a growth mindset. And it's a growth mindset. It's an approach when people approach situations, challenging situations, in a positive way. And they in a way that, they say to themselves, I love a challenge, and I am looking forward to learning from this challenge. So it's a mentality, it's a mentality where you're not the victim, but you are going after challenges with resilience and grit. Having a growth mindset is key to dealing with stress, because it allows you to look stress in the eye and say, and don't fear stress, but instead looking at with a challenge mentality, when we're going to tell ourselves, I can do this, I will get through this. So having a growth mindset is key to not only develop our full potential, but really having the grit and the perseverance to see adversity not as a negative, but as a positive. So let's look now at what are the strategies to develop a growth mindset. Number 1 is to develop a compelling belief in yourself. Believe that, in your own skills and capabilities and abilities to deal with challenges. Number 2 is to view mistakes and failures in a positive light. Allow yourself to make mistakes. Making mistakes is a great way to learn and grow. So don't dwell on those mistakes. Turn mistakes into lessons. Now, the other way to develop a growth mindset is to step out of your comfort zone continuously. Continuously seek challenges. Doing things that scare you and challenge you on a regular basis is a great way to expand your identity. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because every time that you conquer your fears, you develop confidence, you develop self-confidence, self-esteem, resilience, and grit. So for example, I use sports to develop, to go out of my comfort zone every single day. So, I'm a runner, I'm a marathon runner. And every time that I run, I either, at the last 5 minutes, I either, run faster, I run sprints, or I run longer. But I always challenge myself to go out of my comfort zone, because when I know I'm doing this, I am also working on my mindset and expanding my identity and giving myself, the gift of self-confidence and self-esteem. So going out of your comfort zone continuously, it's key to developing a growth mindset. The other thing is to reframe negative situations into positive situations. So for example, accept that you are not able to control all of your situations, but you are able to control how you deal with the situations. For example, when COVID-19 hit, I am a speaker, and of course, all the speaking stages were closed because of COVID. So what did I do? I saw this not as a negative, but as a positive. So I started learning how to use Zoom and Facebook in order to share my message with the world. And it became a positive because now I'm able to reach more people going online. So, look at negative situations as a ways to learn and grow, learn new skills, or just grow as an individual. The other strategy is to view growth as a process. So it is not the end result that matters, but is the person that you will become as as you deal with setbacks and challenges along the journey. So it is the journey that matters, not the destination. So those are the key strategies to to develop a strong and resilient mindset. And I hope that by listening to this talk, that I have convinced you that you need to work on your mindset every single day. When I was in my, when I first starting my transformational journey from an autism mom who was burned out, I didn't know, I didn't even know what a mindset was. And I didn't really know that I had to work on having a strong mindset every single day in order to deal with the chronic stress of being mom to my severely autistic son, but also in order to develop my full potential. So I believe that working on our mindset, it needs to be part of a self-care routine that is non-negotiable, and that mindset should be a core component of our self-care routine, because we want to develop, as I say, we need to have that a strong, resilient, and positive mindset at all times, especially in these times of COVID-19, when there's people and the news are after us all the time, with the stress and anxiety. So we need to have that strong mindset to deal with the stress and the anxiety that we're living in these times.
Would you be kind enough to share your website and email address, how people get in touch with you, please?
Yes, they can get in touch with me by just going to claudiataboada.com. My website is being rebranded right now. So right now it goes to a funnel I have, but they can get in touch with me on claudiataboada.com. I also have my email address is claudia.tabuada0410@gmail.com. And they can also look, if they have been inspired by my story, my transformational story, you can go to Amazon and get my book, which is called Burnout to Unstoppable, and which is the book of, how an autism mom who had lost her identity and was burned out and overwhelmed has been able to become an unstoppable mom.
That's an amazing story. Here this is who's been distracting me during this whole broadcast. This is Dixie. And I am her personal servant. Okay. See, dogs live with you, but you live with cats. Now, if you understand that and got that straight between your ears, you're good to go. If not, they'll put you through remedial training. But I wanted to really thank you for a wonderful, powerful message there. The one thing that you said there just really struck a note with me, and I'm going to give Annalyn and Raymond a chance to also give some feedback. But, you know, when you talk about loving yourself, if you don't have any love in your heart for yourself, you can't share love with anybody else because your tank is empty. You're not going to go anywhere.
Exactly.
And that is one of the things that Bill Heinrich talks a lot about, you know, sharing love and the blessings with others. And Annalyn and Raymond, I know you guys really appreciated her comments and the struggles she's went through. And it's just really a blessing for us, all of us, to have Claudia and also Annalyn and Raymond on the show. So Annalyn and Raymond, I'll give you a chance to share some information that you got from Claudia's talk there, please.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it just, your story is so powerful, and I know it's going to help so many people through their adversities in life. I know firsthand, if Raymond didn't have that positive mindset, he wouldn't be here today.
Yeah.
I know that for a fact.
Mhm.
And, you know, also just looking at, you know, that self-love and self-care. So I've done a great job keeping that positive mindset, doing a lot of the personal development. But then what I also realized is that it was important for me to secure my own oxygen mask
That's
and
it.
do self-care things that I need to do to make sure that I can stay healthy through this entire journey as well.
Yeah, because you're the
Yeah.
caretaker, so you have to make sure that you have your cup is filled in order to give the best to the rest of the world and your husband and your kids. Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. Yeah.
Well, I don't feel guilty when I go to get a massage. There's no guilt.
That's it. That's exactly what you need to do. Yeah.
Oh, you got to treat yourself every now and then, because my goodness gracious, if you don't treat yourself, you're really cheating yourself out of some of the wonderful things in life that you deserve. You really do, because it's all about, you know, the blessings of life, the abundance of life. And when you share those, guess what? Your tank will never be empty. You'll always have plenty of gas in your tank. It's just amazing the way that works, isn't it? Claudia,
So what I think is, see, people standing on the outside don't have a clue what you're going through.
Right.
But the people who do know what you're going through or what you've been through are the ones who cling to you because they found somebody who had something in common with them.
Yes.
Something that they've seen the very same story that they've been going through. It's comforting to them. So you would definitely be an asset to those people and those who don't know and whose future is undecided as far as what type of person they're focused and loving themselves and seeing themselves as their true self and identity, like you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's really important and really amazing. I like the way you said that, Raymond, because when you share your story and what you've overcome, and you're willing to share that with others, that's an automatic connection with people who are walking a mile in your shoes. Kind of like that. Reminds me of that 1969. I like music. 1969 hit by Joe South, Walk a Mile in My Shoes. Oh my goodness, I like that. For you criticize and accuse. And of course, I was brought up with the golden rule, and we certainly need that today, because mother always told me, if you can't say anything nice about someone, don't say anything at all. And I've said many times before, and I'll say it again here in case someone hasn't heard it, but how many times in my life have I jumped to the wrong conclusion about someone? And then I find out later, you know, their side of the story, and I go, oh my goodness, I'm so glad I didn't open my big mouth and say something stupid, because you know they tend to hold that within. And what Raymond and Annalyn and Claudia and I are encouraging you to do is to share that with others, so you can help someone else in their hour of need. That's what it's about. It really is. And Annalyn and Robert, Raymond, I keep calling you Robert, I'm sorry, but he won't hit me too hard after the show. He's a pretty nice guy. But you guys are really an inspiration, and like I said, when I first heard Annalyn talk, I thought, oh my goodness, we've got to get this lady on the radio show. We've had her on the radio show. We've had her on this show twice. She's going to be on our new TV show, the E360 TV. And Annalyn, the bad news is you're going to have to put up with me there. You know, I mean,
Gladly, because you know, in this, we can't get through this life on our own.
no.
And so it's so beautiful, this community that you've helped create, you know,
Thank
these
you.
stories of inspiration, hope, and support to really bless people and let them know that they're not alone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Not alone in this journey, no matter what they're going through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We came together on Wednesday, March the 18th, because we were concerned about our members and other people that we know. And we were kind of like saying, okay, we're supposed to be, you know, guys that, you know, can help others, encourage others. So what can we do? And immediately Bill Heinrich just says, hey, let's just put on a series of webinars, since everything's virtual now, and, you know, call it Messages of Inspiration, Hope, and Support. That was on Wednesday. Wednesday the 18th of March. The following Monday, we kicked off the first show.
Wow.
And that just goes when there's a need and you got everything in your toolbox to get the job done,
Yeah.
you get it done, because that's your calling. And look where the energy has taken us. Look at all these people that we've had on. We've had over 200 guests on this show. And we thought that was the end of it. But then guess what happened? Tamara Hunter, a good friend of mine, very good friend of mine, she got affiliated with E360 TV. And they're always looking for good content, because if you owned a TV channel, a streaming TV channel, you'd want to have, you know, good programs on there to be able to help your channel grow. Make sense? And she says, hey, would you consider taking a look at this Message of Inspiration, Hope, and show that Jim Grant hosts? And they looked at it and says, hey, we'd like to have you join. So, I mean, that's the way the energy keeps blessing you. The more you bless others, the more energy and more blessings comes your way. So, you know, we're just doing it by the truckload now instead of the wheelbarrow, you might say. And it's a lesson to share with you, because that grew out of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And it really did. And it was Bill Heinrich who came up with it. I'd like to say that I was smart enough to come up with it, but we know, just between me and you, we know better than that, right? But it just goes to show you what you can do when the going gets tough, because we were concerned about people, because everybody was worried. Nobody knew what this thing was going to be like. And too many people were voluntarily putting themselves into solitary confinement.
Mhm.
That is critical, because we're social creatures. We need somebody in our life. Well, some people are more social than others, more outgoing, and some people are introverts, but everybody needs some type of love. In my book, I want to share this with you. We might go over a minute extra, but I'm not going to charge anybody extra for that. But I talk about LLAR. The first L stands for love. Everybody wants to be loved. The second L stands for like. Everybody wants to be liked. The A, this is something we all need to focus on. Everyone wants to be appreciated. And the fourth letter, R, Aretha Franklin. This was a big hit for her in 1967, the year I graduated from high school. She must have knew that I had trouble with words, because she spelled it out, RESPECT. Everyone wants to be respected. And when you show people that you love them, you like them, you appreciate them, you respect them, guess what you're going to get in return? The same thing. You reap what you sow. And that's why that I want to thank Claudia so much for joining us from up there in Canada. Even though she can't go bike riding, she's here, and you know, she's taken us on a great journey. And Annalyn and Raymond, your stories are just fantastic. I mean, you're an inspiration of how couples can work together and how you overcome a monster in your life. And how you reach out to others. My heart goes out to you, and I just, you know, really thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, it's this, the hour's up. The times went by. We've had a lot of fun. And Claudia, I want to say thank you so much. I'm going to give you an opportunity to say, anything you'd like to say, share before we sign off, and then I'll do the same with Annalyn and Raymond. Go ahead.
Yes, I want to, again, emphasize the need for all of us, especially in these times of COVID-19, to make self-care a priority. Self-care needs to be non-negotiable for everyone. And, self-care is not only taking a bath. Self-care is working on your physical, your mental, and your emotional health. And as we saw today, working on your mindset is key in order to, deal with this COVID-19, setback, deal with it head on and successfully.
Thank you. That's kind of like when you're on an airplane, they say if the mask drop down, you put yours on first, that way you can help others. And same thing, you got to have the resources to do that. And Annalyn and Raymond, I want to give you a chance to say a few words as we get ready to close.
No, I think, and here we are in this time of COVID-19. That's been a wake-up call, and an alarm has been rung for us to really look at our overall health. And so, again, as we sound this alarm today on kidney disease, the population that we serve is more susceptible, they have more weakened immune systems, more susceptible to COVID-19. So all the more reason to go back and really assess our overall health. What are we doing to take care of ourselves, to protect our health, to build up our immunity, to help prevent disease, to help reverse disease, and give us a better fighting chance against, those unknown monsters like COVID-19 that can come out of nowhere. And if we don't have our health, we don't have anything else.
You're so correct.
We've got to really take that to heart, and time to, with this alarm that's been rung, don't put the pillow over your head and hit snooze. Now is the time to take action.
You're absolutely correct. Thank you so much. And people can find you guys on Facebook too. Is that right?
That is correct. Yeah, you can definitely follow our journey, and more information, like I said, about our recently completed documentary that we'll be screening at 1in9. So it's the number 1, IN number 9, Kidney Challenge on Facebook.
Good deal. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in today. We've had wonderful guests. I've always had the privilege of just sitting here and being the host, and just listening to these powerful messages that will move you to action, especially in the needs of health and things of this nature. But whatever your calling is, please, move to action. That's the key. And I like to close every show, and I like to say that if it's your birthday today, we hope that you have a very happy birthday. Be sure and treat yourself. Be sure and love yourself. And remember, now I voted on this, all birthday cakes and the special desserts that you love, they're health food. So to make sure you don't cheat yourself there.
Absolutely. So I'm going to give a special shout out. Happy birthday to Deanna and Mary Beth. Love you both.
Okay.
And enjoy that cake.
There you go. And the special desserts.
You already had your birthday bike ride, so you've earned that cake.
There you go. There you go. I like that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure and share the show with others. And most importantly, get in touch with Claudia and Annalyn and Raymond Scott and let them know how much you really appreciated their powerful message today. I'm Jim Grant on behalf of the 6-Minute Webinar, sixminutewebinar.com. We're so glad that you're here. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Everybody wave bye.
Thank you. Thank you for listening.